So the question that I have for you is, what do you do when life looks right, but it feels wrong? What do you do when everything looks nice on the outside, but it just feels wrong on the inside? So let me share briefly my story with you. I worked in banking for over 11 years. I started out as a teller. I learned the system. I served my customers well. I had the title. I had the stability. I had the predictable income. Everything had looked nice on the outside. I was responsible. I was showing up early at work. I wasn't taking lunches. I was very much working hard, going to work early and leaving late. And I was successful. I was pretty much on the external front, everything had looked nice and polished. But guess what, guys? I was misaligned. I woke up one day and I asked myself, in the midst of all the productivity, I woke up one day and I asked myself, is this what I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life doing? And for many of us, we may ask it in a different way. What is my purpose? What am I sent on earth to do? What am I called to do? And when you get to that place, you start to question yourself, because at that space in time, for me, it wasn't that anything was wrong with banking, and it wasn't that I wasn't very grateful. What happened is that my purpose started to whisper louder than my comfort. And the sad thing is, guys, is that we don't realize that comfort is the enemy of calling. And comfort tricks us into believing that good enough is enough. And so I want to challenge somebody watching this video. How comfortable are you in life? Because it's time to start disrupting that comfort. So somebody may say, Ellecia, how does the priorities drift without us knowing it? The answer is very simple, guys. The fact is that the busyness that we experience on a daily basis, it replaces our intentions. And what does it mean to be intentional? To be intentional means that you're making very purposeful decisions. You're very deliberate about the decisions that you make and the actions that you take towards your purpose and your destiny. So urgency hijacks our decision every single second of the day. When you look at it, guys, we make millions of decisions on a daily basis. You made a decision as to what you're going to wear to work, what you're going to wear to school, what you were going to eat for breakfast, what time you want to leave work today, whatever it is. We make millions of decisions on a daily basis, but unfortunately, it is the urgency and the busyness that replaces intentional decisions. And it's the small daily unexamined actions that we make and decisions that we take that reflects the distraction, and it shows up on the calendar. So if you should examine your calendar, you should be able to determine, is my calendar reflecting value? So guess what, guys? The danger with that is that you can be living a very responsible life, but you can also miss your assignment in life. So you are busy, you are reliable, you are accomplished, and at the end of the day, you are very much misaligned. So there is power, guys, in refocusing. There is so much power in refocusing. And refocusing doesn't mean that you are rejecting your past. What it means is that you are reassessing your future. You are reassessing your position in life. So refocusing is the pause that allows you to intentionally slow down. Guys, I want you to pay attention to this definition. To pause means to intentionally slow down long enough to listen, to reflect, and to regain clarity. The problem is that we do not pause long enough. We're so busy, we are so accomplished, and our calendar is so packed and full, and our decisions are being hijacked by this urgency in which we live, that we don't pause long enough. And for somebody watching this video, that is exactly what you need to do. Not to be adding more, not to be thinking about more, not to be thinking about working harder, but only to pause long enough to listen, to reflect, and to regain clarity before you press that forward button. So guys, what you need to do in this season is that you need to ask yourself some powerful questions. And those 3 powerful questions are, what truly deserves my energy? You see, you have to enter into a state of energy preservation and energy conservation. There is something that I call decoy wars. Now, I'm a prayer warrior. I understand the power of prayer. Now, I want you to look at this demonstration. Think of your purpose right in front of you, okay? Your purpose is forever in front of you, because that's what you're called on earth to manifest. Now, this hand over here is what I call a decoy war. Whenever this flares up, or a fire flares up, over this side, you know what's going to happen? You're going to take your attention off your purpose and you're going to look over here at this war, decoy war, I call it, that is happening. And then something else flares up over this side. You're taking your eyes from your purpose again and you're focusing on that. And when I say practice energy conservation and preservation in this season, do you know what I mean? I mean that it's not everything that deserves your attention. There are decoy wars that will come up, guys, that is going to require that you shift focus and you go deal with it quickly and come back. But there are others that you need to settle your spirit and ensure that you do not get flustered enough. It will distract you from what is ahead of you. So what truly deserves my energy? I want you to write down these questions, guys. The next question that you need to ask is that what matters most in this season? You see this decoy war scenario that I just mentioned, it is so very real. Because by the time you focus on this war here and there, left, right, and center, by the time you sit down again to focus or to refocus on the purpose that is ahead of you, guess what happens? You are so weary. You are so distracted. You are so tired. You are so flustered and frustrated and discombobulated that you've lost sight of what your purpose is. So you need to ask yourself, what really does matter in this season of my life? We live a seasonal life, and the season that you are in will demand a different version of you. It will ask something different of you. So ask yourself that question. The next thing that you need to ask is, what am I doing out of habit instead of purpose? Guys, whatever you say yes to in this season, you have to understand it's going to take time and it's going to take energy. We have to develop the ability to say no, and we have to develop the ability to really scrutinize what is in front of you that's going to determine this time and this energy. So essentially, guys, as you ask yourself these three powerful questions, this is going to require a deep-rooted honesty from within. It is going to require courage, and it's also going to require awareness.